Well, praise the Lord, everybody, and welcome to Musical Monday. I know y'all kind of shocked to see Pastor Caples up here getting ready to sing, and you're probably asking yourself, what is he going to sing? He a preacher, ain't he? Well, really what I'm wanting to do is I want to invite you into my birthday. Yes, today I turned 64. And usually I'm on a cruise ship, so I can welcome you to beautiful Carnival going out of Louisiana. And there's a reason I like to go out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and celebrate my birthday and sing karaoke. I fly into an airport that's called the Louis Armstrong Airport. Many years ago, I kind of started to take an interest in Louis Armstrong and his life and the songs that he sang. And there was one particular song that he sang that it was such an encouragement to me that I want to sing it for you tonight. It's called What a Wonderful World. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. I guess the reason that it means so much to me, and I go on those cruise ships, is just to kind of get away and see the beauty of the world out on the ocean. So many different people from so many different nationalities are on the ship. And you begin to reflect back and think about how blessed you are. And Louis Armstrong sang this song near the end of his life. A life that was challenging. As he began to talk about the song, he said, I see trees of green and red roses too. He said, I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, that's what the Bible tells us to do. It tells us to think on these things. When you're having tough times and having a hard life, he said, I see, visualize it. And he said, I think. It's not always what you say, it's how you think. And then he goes on and he said, I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. Whether it's night or day, give thanks. Then he says, the colors of the rainbow. Rainbows come after a rainstorm. He said, but they're pretty in the sky. He talks about friends shaking hands. And he talks about the future of our children. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. He understands that things are going to change and it's going to get better. And to understand that, you have to understand where Louis Armstrong came from. Born in 1901 to a 16-year-old mom. His dad left after 2 weeks. His mom couldn't take it, so she left him to be raised by her mother, as so many do. By 6 years old, they had put him into a school for unwanted boys. By 11 years old, he had got put into a reform school where he met Peter Davis. You know, all things do work together for good if you just keep the right attitude. Peter Davis was a horn player that came and volunteered to teach those juvenile delinquents. And that was the first time when he picked up the cornet and took lessons on playing the trumpet. And as they say, the rest is history. Born in 1901, by the time he was 13 years old, World War I breaks out. The whole world is in chaos. By the time he's 17 years old, it is the flu pandemic where over 50 million people worldwide dies. But he makes it through it. 28 years old, the Great Depression. And if you think it was tough for the whole world, try living in a little part of New Orleans called the Battlefield, where they were already struggling to stay alive. Then you had other wars. You had the Korean War by the time he was 49, and you had the Vietnam War by the time he was 54, and a war that he would have be pulled into fighting, and that was the civil rights. By this time, he is a jazz leader, and he's out in California, and he's made it. He's crossed over, and he's loved worldwide for playing that horn and the big smile and the big attitude that he has. But there's trouble at home. And so they begin to call him names, and they begin to talk about him and say he should be more involved with the civil rights movement. Now it's getting close to the end of his life. It's 1967. And he reflects back on his life. And he sees all of the things that happen, all of the situations. And he sings this song. What a wonderful world. To be able to look back and see everything that God has brought you through, and you at the end of your life, now he can speak out, and he speaks out to President Eisenhower about the civil rights movement, and he is trying now to make his peace. So he goes to a concert with Ella Fitzgerald, or not Ella Fitzgerald, but Mahalia Jackson. And Mahalia Jackson is singing spirituals, and she calls him up on the stage. And as she's singing this song, she gives him the mic, and he begins to sing this song. Just a closer walk with thee, granted Jesus is my plea, daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all harm. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk, dear Lord, close to thee. You see, when you go through the trouble of this world and you begin to reflect back and think it was God that brought you through it. It was God that kept you through the pandemics and all of the death that's all around you and all of the bad situations, and it was God. At some point you begin to reflect. And when you make your peace with God, he's suffering now with a heart attack, with another one looming, and he knows that he doesn't have much longer to live. He dies in 1971 at the age of 69. But his final request was simply this:
oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints go marching in.
I guess it's just something about Louis Armstrong's life that I can relate to. Life hasn't always been easy, but because of Jesus, it's always been a wonderful world. God bless you and God keep you is my prayer.